Alright folks, and welcome back to another LP of Dominions 4. I'm Colonial, and as I've said, I am quite a bit more experienced at Dominions 4 than most of the LPs that are on YouTube. Been playing for over 4 years, and today I'm going to show you a nation that really needs that in its player. In particular, I'm going to go with Late Age R'lyeh, the Dreamlands. So, this is a nation that if you look on the message boards, it's almost no one's ever talked about, and I have never seen anyone play it in a multiplayer game since Dom 4 came out. There's pretty much no literature on it at all. But that is because it is a fiendishly complex nation and quite underpowered. So, yeah. Alright, yes. R'lyeh has one rule set that's unique to R'lyeh, one rule set that it shares with its middle-aged cousin, one rule set that it shares with 3 other nations, and one that it shares with 8 other nations. And it has a pretty complex relationship with the base rules as well. So it is a very complex nation to play. It's basically like a broken down jalopy of a car that I need to tape together with string and whatever, get the thing to run. But it's never going to be a powerhouse car. So I'm playing against the Impossible AI. I'm going to make sure that I have Atlantis on the map, because Atlantis is... The only other nations that go underwater are when they're played by the AI, are Atlantis and Lemuria. But I don't really like playing against Lemuria. Basically, you cease playing your nation and you start playing maximize how many priests you can get to the battlefield, which is really dumb. So I don't mind if Lemuria's not on the map, but I want Atlantis to be. So, R'lyeh, you can read this. It's one of the things is it's really one of the better nations in terms of lore and that. Look at how long this lore text is. It has been around in the game for a very long time. In fact, I'm pretty sure that they came up with the idea of water nations specifically for R'lyeh back in Dominions 2. And it is... Yeah, and it's had times in the past when it's been a very powerful nation. For a time back in Dominions 3, it was a powerhouse. It was before my time, so I've only ever known it as kind of a ruined husk. They basically nerfed it really substantially, and it's never been any good since. And since Dom 4 came out, it's as though the nation ceased to exist. No one talks about it, no one plays it, but it's still here, and I'm going to give it a whirl. Now, I'm going to do a Ghost King. Okay. So our options are very limited, as you see. We don't have very many. We only have one rainbow. We've mainly got a bunch of SCs. We've got a few immobiles. Um, but I think you really need an SC because it expands like treacle. All of your or a lot of your generals sometimes don't move. You always need to reinforce new chaff to the front. It takes forever to expand. So SC it is. Now, once you have an SC, there's a couple of ways you can go with it. You can go for a bless, but that's really dumb because the only sacred troops that R'lyeh has are its void summons, and you don't get many of them. You can go for slightly better scales. For example, could go for an ancient kraken or a worm, but I like to go with a bit of diversity, a bit of rainbow on my SC. So the best for that is Ghost King and the Dagon. You could conceivably go for like this guy or this guy or this guy, but Ghost King or Dagon are the ones I think are the best. The Ghost King is slightly more tailored magic paths. The Dagon is a slightly stronger SC. I'm going to go with the Ghost King, but I could definitely see... If you do go for the Dagon, I recommend going water with nature or water nature death. But that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to go with the Ghost King. And I'm going to go with earth, death, and nature. Now, this means that air and fire, I don't have any in my entire nation, or blood. These are paths that I already have, but that I don't have much of. My strongest paths are water and astral, and these are my weaker paths. So my god's going to be a specialist in my weaker paths. There's a bit of multipath utility here, in particular the death and the nature is nice together. You can get some good, you can Lamia queens and stuff. Um, Earth and nature, pretty worthless cross path. Earth and death, bit of utility, but the nature death is the strongest of the cross paths. He's an SC, so 9 candles. And this leaves me with -3 scales, which is okay. Now, scales, up until now, I think this is a pretty solid build, but scales, I don't really know exactly what I'm doing. I've been playing around with Heat 3 is a no-brainer because it turns into Heat 1 when you're underwater. Heat instead of cold because that locks up the rivers, and my people are amphibious, so they can go over the rivers, no one else can. Um, Now, I like having luck. Basically, you get Dom kill. Your Dominion kills your people. So, you would often, when that happens, you go for really torch scales, except for luck and magic. But, right, I really need some money. So I don't really like to go for that. First of all, you don't really need the productivity. You've got some high resource intensive units, but you can get a few of them out anyway, so they're really not worth productivity, especially since you're taking -3 scales here. Okay, let's say, now what I tend to do is something like this. Growth is kind of shitty if it's because all it does is postpone the inevitable, where your Dominion has no people left in it. But it does postpone it pretty significantly, so I'm kind of backloading the money. I only get money for a set number of turns, but I'm going to be getting less money because of this for a longer number of turns. And I'm going with the luck. The luck is nice. It means that you can still get money even when your Dominion is completely out of people. That's the nice thing about the luck. And I mean, I could definitely see an argument for not putting in the luck, but I'm gonna put it in. This people can talk about what they think. I mean, not getting a magic boost is really bad, but I don't really need the magic for a while. I'm always gonna be behind the research curve, even if I go with the magic, and I can't say I have the scales to spare. Maybe something like that. That might be good. I might actually try that. As you can tell, I've been humming and hawing over this my practice games since forever. So, income -28. That's really bad. All right, let's try this. One magic. And now the thing is, he's an awake SC, but I'm fighting against the AI. I find that if I actually have an awake SC, I pretty much do too well. So I'm gonna give myself a little handicap here. Bam, handicapped. He's dormant. He's gonna come out just in time to hit the tough nuts to crack, which is what he's really needed for. And I'm going to start with 156 design points to give myself that handicap, hopefully. And playing with this handicap, I would say it's pretty well balanced. I'm not rocking the AI or whatever, so that is what my god is going to be. And let's call him Colonial. Why not? Okay, of course, make the events common. I'm gonna put the score graphs enabled, but I'm not. No, I'll put them disabled. Interesting. I didn't even know there was an option for info on other nations disabled. No, I'll put them all disabled. Renaming allowed, even though I'm probably not going to rename it. If I get a vastness or something, I'll rename it. So, there you go. And that is it. I will see you in a wee second. Alright, turn one. Wheel, chaos, blah blah blah. Let's see where I start. That's alright. Okay. So, I decided to go with Cradle of Dominions. It's got pretty much enough water for 1 or 2 water nations, which I'm gonna have 1 and like a half or 1 and 2 halves, so it's pretty good. Yeah, let's see who my rivals are. Have I got Lemuria? Yes, there's Lemuria. Okay, we've got Atlantis and Lemuria. We've got Gath. Yeah, I think I'm relatively strong against guys who have a few super tough troops. So Gath and Patala are going to be pretty good. Bagaris, not really. They're just mage centric. Um, no, they're gonna have hordes. Hordes I'm alright against. What I really suffer against is a solid front line, like Agartha here is gonna have, or Tianchi, or even probably Mary. Maybe all these demons. I can pretty much paralyze demons pretty good. Is another one I'm gonna suffer against. I'm really gonna do badly against archers. Man, not my friends. Archiscaphly is another one with a solid front line, but they're pretty underpowered. So my real fears here are Gartha, Abyssia. Yeah, they do like the heat that I'm rocking. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. We'll need to find out who I'm near as well. But Gath and Patala, I'm going to do pretty good against. Of course, Gath is a strong nation, and I'm a weak nation, so I'm not sure how great I'm going to do against them. And Patala is pretty good when played by the AI. So, that is what I'm looking at now. First turn's always the same. I'm going to prophetize this guy. The reason why I prophetize him instead of the scout is because he is immune to my madness. And one thing that does happen, I mean, if you've never played Rylai or you don't know anything about Rylai, basically the way it works is my Dominion makes people crazy and kills population. So guys like this poor sad schmuck right here go crazy in my Dominion. Unless if they have the ability Void Sanity, they go crazy. And I think my god never goes crazy, even though he doesn't have Void Sanity. The other thing that happens is I get free spawn. I get free spawn chaff. I get lots of different kinds, including leaders. And the leaders, the free spawn as chaff, are all starting out pretty damn crazy. And I do need them to ferry people around, and they're very temperamental about whether or not they do. So, one thing that they sometimes do when they're crazy, anyone who's crazy can become a prophet. So I'm going to get quite a few mad prophets. So it'll be nice to have one sane prophet. This is the only nation in the game where you can have more than one prophet, incidentally. But aside from your original, aside from ones that you prophetize yourself, they're not complete prophets. I don't think they spread your dominion when they walk around like a prophet. But they're H3 priests, and they're always blessed. We're going to grab one of these guys. We're going to grab 3 of these guys. And we're going to grab, I think, right, I've just changed it up in terms of my sloth scales. So, how many more? He can carry 10. No, he can carry 17 more of those guys. That might be what I do. 17 of those guys. No, I can only do 10. Let's see. Boom. I can get one of them. Ooh la la. And I can get... That's fine. Okay. So that's my first turn. Yeah, no research, nothing now. See you in a second. Okay, so, like I said, my expansion works pretty much like treacle. I'm gonna get an army together. They're gonna push, like, say, to there, and then maybe hit that one. Or maybe not. And then they're gonna need reinforced. And I'm gonna maybe have 2 or 3 armies slowly bumping and getting reinforced. It's pretty awful. But luckily, I'm playing against the AI, and they're not very good at expanding either. But when you're playing against people, you're gonna really need that Awake SC to get your expansion up to a level that's on par with your peers. In fact, I might do an episode 0 later on where I have the God awake and I show you some optimal expansion possibilities with the God. Or just show you a more optimal early game for playing in multiplayer. Because this is going to be really, really slow. Now, another star spawn. 57 gold. Jesus Christ. My gold is not very strong. Okay. Boom, boom. Okay, let's actually take a look at that. Now, I've got a fair number of options in both sides, but in all honesty, I've got 5 commanders and 3 units that I summon. My commanders are Slave Mage, Ilithiad Lord, Star Child, Star Spawn, Star Spawn. My yeah, these two have an identical name, even though they're very different units. My units are the Lobo, the Meteorite Guard, and the Illithid. I've just realized I don't really know how to pronounce that. Illithid, I believe. Illithid. Okay. Yeah. There's only those three. The Lobo is a chaff. Later on in the game, when I'm getting free spawn chaff, I shouldn't need Lobos. But if I don't have enough chaff for whatever reason, these guys are top tier chaff, basically. But they do take upkeep and things. Meteorites are why it might be worth having some productivity and not the sloth, but I just didn't have the scales for it. Meteorites are damn good. You have these four different kinds. Well, you've got all these guys. All these guys are just lousy. They're only slightly better than your chaff, and you have tons of free chaff, so why do you want to pay all kinds of gold for these normal troops? Now, I find normally in the early game, I don't go for the top tier unit, the top tier frontline infantry, and then I change that up later on, but these guys are just so eh. These guys really are pretty good. They have this slave thing, which goes nicely with these guys' Taskmaster. So they can often, and all my chaff have no morale, have limitless morale. So often I wind up with morale penalties, and it's all good. Um, yeah, I'm sure see that later. To begin with, now when you have the god, your beginning is a bit of a trick because it's a Ghost King, and Ghost Kings don't generally. Ghost King is quite a unique chassis. He doesn't expand on turn 1; he expands on turn 3. And there's a bit of fun with that. So this is right now turn 2. He would be forging for me, but he is not going to be forging for me. He is going to be entering the Void Gate. And you want one of these guys, one of the priest star spawns, entering the Void Gate every turn for the entire game. That's why I'm grabbing a second, because they sometimes randomly die, so you want one in reserve to switch it up. And yeah. Let's see. Now, crappy ass. So I have a lot of trouble against a lot of kinds of guards. Are not my favorites. I don't think I'll start out with the guards. What am I looking at here? Actually, I might archers. Archers are, as I said, I'm quite weak against archers. They just cleave through the chaff. So I think I'm gonna go against the Illithids, but I could also go against them. Not the Illithids, excuse me, the Ichthids. I'm the Illithids. Sorry if you can hear that train horn in the background. That's just a train horn. There's nothing you can do about it. Nothing anyone can do. They're like trying to protest the trains or whatever. It's just how it is. Anyway, I'm gonna attack them. Now these guys are the core of everything. Each one costs $50 a pop, and they fired Mind Blasts all afternoon. And 3 of them is not very many, but as the game progresses, you're just going to get more and more. You occasionally get free spawn ones, actually. Some of your void creatures have Mind Blast, and they come in different levels of quality of Mind Blasters from free spawn. None of them are as good as the ones you pay for. This guy, if he weren't the Prophet, would also be free Mind Blasting, but he is the Prophet, so he will be... not fucking Smite Demon. He'll be doing Prophet stuff. Excuse me. Yeah, as you may have noticed, I haven't done one of these in 3 weeks, so I'm not completely together vocally or whatever. Smite is better than Mind Blast, so there's no use using his Mind Blast at all. Also takes 0 fatigue. I guess Mind Blasting takes a tiny bit of fatigue. And since you're Archer-centric, you're holding and attacking. Yeah, Archer, you're, Mind Blaster, Paralyzer. So yeah, the selling point of Rylai in every age is that they have these wonderful paralyzing Mind Blasts that pretty much as good as any other kind of artillery or, archery, but they can be used underwater, which is nice. Here, actually not optimizing for resources, but it's fine. You're going this way. Hopefully, I'm pretty sure that'll be fine. The problem here is that it might cost high attrition against these ichthyids. Alright, I'm still not researching. I still don't have any other things, so I will see you in a second. Alright, so I got a summoning. That's quite nice. We'll look at that in a second. The battle. Hopefully it'll work. Yay! I lost some chaff. Not even that much chaff. And I burninated his countryside. So that's good. Let's see what my summoning is. Now, this means my guy sitting there, they call it fishing, because we're underwater and that, where you enter the void gate and try and pull out some fun stuff. Basically, sometimes it attacks you, and sometimes you pull something out, and about half the time, nothing happens at all. But I got lucky this time. Oh, wow. I got very lucky this time, guys. Greater Othernesses are the second strongest unit you can get, and the good thing about them is they always come in packs. 4 Greater Othernesses. They're basically super good regenerating elephants. So there you go, 4 super good regenerating elephants. Wait a minute. Tehom is lost in time and space. Oh dear. Okay, goodbye Tehom. Hello, this guy. And once more into the breach, dear friend. Alright, now I would... That's too bad. Normally I would grab a slave mage on turn 3. Get the research going a bit. So my mages, I have a level 1. I have a level 4. No, I have a level 1, I have a level 2. I have a level 4. And I have a level 6. Now, I've been grabbing the level 2 because he's the one who goes into the void gate. I don't think I'll grab one this turn. I think I'll just hope that the guy I have now survives for a turn. But what I might actually do is grab something that'll be good for these here greater othernesses, because I'm guessing they can expand, and that will be very good for everyone involved. They regenerate, they're amphibians, they're lovely to trample, that's the trick. And othernesses come in lesser, regular, and greater varieties. Lessers are size 2. And we're talking about tramplers here, they're all tramplers, so the size 2s are kind of tragic. They're basically chaff. But what I'm thinking is that you could do a trick involving them and growth spells, but we'll see if that plays out. So basically I grab the other lesser othernesses and I pile them up in the capital and hope for a whole bunch of them. The graders are really strong though, 89 hit points and 10% regen, plus 5 hit points for being sacred because that's my bless. Size 6, what was I looking for? Oh yes, do they take upkeep? Nope. Alright, so I think they're going to be expanders because I've been whinging about my expansion options. So we're looking at magic beings. Yep, magic beings with limitless morale. 4 of them. So I might grab a Star Child. They do have 20 leadership. -2 for 2, if I'm not mistaken. Where does it say that? Okay, I think I'll grab actually a Star Child to ferry them around. I could grab an Illithid Lord, and I should actually go with the Illithid Lord, because he'll be useful later on, more so than a Star Child. So I'll grab him, and I'll get my second expansion army on the go. What do we have here? Oh, Christ. Giant, beefy Triton Troopers, one of the strongest underwater guys. I was like, oh good, blowpipes, they'll be easy. But no, it's bloody bloodhenge druids, dark vines. So, that's not going to be good. I think I'm going to have to get my foot on the land here. Epic. Enter site, that's fine. Man, I don't like losing guys to time and space, but I do like greater othernesses. So that's fine. Next turn I get my second expansion army out the gate, which is very lucky. But I'm not going to start researching for a long time. Okay, see y'all in a sec. Alright, so we're getting quite a few unexpected events. Now, oh, it looks like I won South Hedgewood because, I'm getting an unexpected event there. Let's see how I did. Very good. Lost a handful of chaff. This is going well, but it's because I'm fighting pretty easy enemies. Um, yeah, I really enjoy having luck scales, but the current climate is all about misfortune scales to give you a bit of a bonus, but it's really nice when you can occasionally get luck scales, because then it's like, oh goody, 2 events, as opposed to, oh fuck, 2 events. So let's see what my events are. Defense plus 10, exactly the nice kind of event you can hope for. And an unlucky event, but that's fine, a minor one. Yeah, the way it works is you get a list starting at 0, going up to high numbers in either direction, and those are the events ordered. They've ordered all events from best to worst. So near the center of the list, you've got the slightly bad events and then the slightly good events, and you pull your range up the list or down the list, depending on whether you go with luck or misfortune. So when you get luck, you get a lot. Your average event is going to be uh, good, and your worst event is going to be slightly bad, and your best event is going to be very good. Whereas if you have neither, your best event's good, your worst event's bad, and then if you have misfortune, your worst event's very bad, your best event's slightly good. So yeah, even my bad events aren't very bad. Oh, message from Lemuria. Just a second. They've already declared war on me. Okay. I might have to fight Lemuria this game. I guess I will, which is really annoying, because Lemuria is really annoying. So we'll see how that plays out. Hopefully I won't have to spend the entire LP fighting stupid Lemuria. Okay. Hopefully they're far away, basically. Um, I don't see them yet. Yeah, they're just randomly declaring war. Pangea, that's no big pro. Is that Pangea? That's not Pangea. Who is it? No, it is. It's Pangea. Yep. Right, because late age they have armor, so they're bragging about their armor by having a little picture of a guy's helmet. Alright, othernesses. It's time to fight. Well, first of all, let's grab... I really need to get researching, so Slave Mage. Slave Mages are an interesting one. They're old, and they are my only commander that I recruit that doesn't have Void Sanity. So these guys have a... just a second. Sorry about that. So yeah, basically, these guys have an old dude with sparkles on, which means that they don't get mad. These guys have an old dude without sparkles, which means not only do they get mad, but they also get disease. So that's the downside of the Slave Mage, but they are my only level 4. They're also my only access into nature magic. So they are going to be fairly important. Yeah, let's see. Okay, what are these guys going to do? Woodsman, lovely. That's what they're going to do. Eat some woodsman. They are archers, so they might kill my chaff. We'll see how it plays out. Um, hmm. We've got... Alright, I think we're going to need a few more of these guys. From now, I'm going to make sure I always have all my resources used every turn, because these meteorite guards are great. Resources are few and far between. Okay, but now we're going to go with... No, not him. These guys. Boom. And some bodyguards. Yeah, if nothing else, the meteorites are great for being bodyguards. He can't bless them, sadly, so they're going to... What morale? Oh, they have limitless morale, don't they? Line formation. Yeah, regenerating elephants with limitless morale. I can't complain. Let's... Where do you go? I guess I'll try them against these tritons. He can actually... Mind Blast. Nice. Hopefully, I've never... I mean, that was a lucky draw, those greater othernesses, so I've never actually experimented with them expanding, but I'm guessing they'll be pretty solid. Still, only that guy. that I can see. Pangea is fine. This age of Pangea is the armored age, so they actually are rocking pretty. I don't know. I don't think I'll be great against them, but I think I'll do alright. Yeah, let's. Oh, I forgot I got defense up to 10 and somewhere. I'll push my defense up to 6 when I have the money for it, but for now it's 3. And am I researching it? No, I'm still not researching. Next turn. Alright, next 2 turns I'm going Slave Mages. Hopefully I'll get an H around them, but it's not as important as 13 becomes 14 research per turn. And they will eventually go crazy. But they'll last a while. I mean, it really is a toss-up. Sometimes they go crazy right away. Sometimes it takes them forever to go crazy. Sometimes they get old and die before they go crazy. So we'll see how it plays out. Although I think this is going to be my last turn for today, gentlemen. I'm going to try and put one up. Probably not tomorrow. Probably the next day. So look forward to one of these coming up day after tomorrow. And I will see you later.